My sweet husband insists on an hour of alone time every night after our son goes to sleep, but he doesn't know that I know exactly what he's up to, and it's changing everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is a heartwarmer with just the right amount of suspense, the kind that reminds you why we fall in love in the first place. It's based on a real Reddit post from a woman named Claire, 32, who shared her experience anonymously because, well, sometimes the best secrets are the ones we keep for a little while. This could absolutely happen in any family. Late nights, quiet suspicions, and a twist that hits you right in the feels. If you've ever wondered what your partner is really doing when they sneak off, this one's for you. Let's dive in. My name is Claire. I've been married to David for 7 years now. We met at a coffee shop during a rainstorm. He offered me his umbrella, I offered him a dry seat, and the rest is history. David's the steady type, a high school math teacher by day, the guy who fixes leaky faucets and reads bedtime stories to our 5-year-old son, Ethan, every night without fail. We're not rich, but we're comfortable in our little 3-bedroom house on the edge of town, with a backyard swing set and a kitchen table that's seen more family dinners than I can count. About 6 months ago, things started changing. Ethan had just started kindergarten, and our routine finally settled into something predictable. Bedtime at 8 p.m. sharp, then David and I would usually curl up on the couch for a show or just talk about our days. But one evening, after tucking Ethan in, David kissed my forehead and said, "Hey babe, mind if I take an hour to myself? Just to unwind." He looked a little sheepish, like he was asking for a favor. I smiled and said, "Of course, you deserve it. Teachers have rough days, grading papers, dealing with rowdy kids." I figured he was scrolling Reddit or playing video games in the basement office we barely used. No big deal. But it became a thing. Every night, like clockwork. After Ethan's lights out, David would grab his phone, head downstairs, and close the door. I'd hear faint noises, typing, maybe soft music. He'd come back up exactly an hour later, smelling faintly of coffee, with a tired but content smile. "Miss me?" he'd joke, pulling me into a hug. At first, I loved it. I used the time to read or take a bath. But after a couple of weeks, curiosity crept in. Why the basement? Why every night? David wasn't the secretive type. We shared everything, from bank passwords to silly dreams. Was he stressed about work? Talking to an old friend? Or something worse? I'd seen enough online stories about hidden affairs or addictions to let my mind wander. One night, when Ethan woke up with a nightmare, I used it as an excuse to peek downstairs. The door was cracked, and I saw David hunched over his laptop, headphones on, typing furiously. He didn't notice me. I slipped back upstairs, heart racing. What was he hiding? I tried to shake it off. David was still the same sweet guy, bringing me flowers on random Tuesdays, helping with laundry without being asked. But the doubt lingered. After a month, I couldn't take it anymore. I waited until he was in the shower one morning and checked his phone. No weird texts, no suspicious apps. His search history was boring. Math lesson plans, kid-friendly recipes. Nothing. That's when I got sneaky. I downloaded a simple screen monitoring app on our shared home computer, the one in the basement he was using. It was easy. We're on the same network. I felt guilty as hell, but I told myself it was just to ease my mind. The app logged keystrokes and screenshots every few minutes. The first night I checked the logs, my stomach dropped. David was on a forum I'd never heard of, posting under a username, New Dad Struggles 42. His posts were long, raw. How do you balance teaching and parenting without burning out? My wife works so hard. How can I surprise her without screwing it up? Wait, what? I dug deeper. The screenshots showed him in online courses, not just any courses, but creative writing classes. He was enrolled in a beginner's program through a community college site, pages of notes on plot structure, character development, and then the documents. He'd been writing a story. A children's book, from what I could tell. Illustrations sketched crudely in a drawing app, a little boy and his dad on adventures. It all clicked. David had mentioned offhand years ago, before Ethan was born, that he'd always wanted to write a book. Something for kids, like the ones I read in class. I'd laughed it off as a pipe dream, but here he was, carving out an hour every night to chase it. Quietly, without fanfare, because that's who he is. He doesn't want to burden anyone with his silly hobbies until they're perfect. But there was more. In his forum posts, he talked about me. My wife is my rock, but she's exhausted too. I want this book to be a gift for her and our son. Something to show them I'm more than just the guy who pays the bills. He was planning to self-publish it as a surprise for our anniversary in 3 months. He'd even contacted a local illustrator through the forum, saving up from his lunch money skips to pay for professional artwork. I sat there in our bedroom, staring at the logs, tears streaming down my face. Not from betrayal, but from love. All this time I'd imagined the worst, and he was down there building something beautiful for us. I didn't confront him right away. I uninstalled the app. Spying felt wrong now that I knew. Instead, I started leaving little encouragements. A new notebook on his desk with a note. For your thoughts. Fresh coffee beans in the basement. He noticed, but didn't say anything. Just hugged me tighter. As the weeks went on, I watched him from afar. He'd come up from his hour more energized, sharing bits of his day without mentioning the writing. Ethan started asking for adventure stories at bedtime, and David's tales got more elaborate. Practice runs, I realized. Then, 2 months in, I found a printed draft hidden in his sock drawer while putting away laundry. It was titled Ethan's Epic Quests. The story followed a boy and his dad exploring imaginary worlds, solving puzzles with math and kindness. The dedication page read, "For Claire, who makes every day an adventure, and Ethan, who teaches me to dream big." I put it back, pretending I hadn't seen it. But that night, after his hour, I couldn't hold it in. When he came upstairs, I pulled him onto the couch and said, "David, I know about your alone time." His face went pale. "What do you mean?" I smiled through tears. "The writing. The book. I accidentally saw a draft. It's amazing." He looked stunned, then relieved, then laughed. A big, genuine belly laugh. "How long have you known?" "A while. I was worried at first, but now, I'm so proud." We talked for hours. He explained how teaching inspired him, seeing kids light up over stories, but he felt guilty taking time away from us. "I wanted it to be a surprise," he said. "Proof that I can still chase dreams, even with diaper changes and parent-teacher conferences." I told him he didn't need to hide it. "Your dreams are our dreams." We decided to make it a family thing. Ethan even helped with ideas for the next chapter. The book got finished just in time for our anniversary. David self-published it on a site for indie authors, with beautiful illustrations from that forum contact. We had a little launch party in the backyard, just us, some cake, and Ethan's wide-eyed excitement as David read it aloud. Now his alone time isn't so alone. Sometimes I join him downstairs, brainstorming plots over tea. Ethan's even started drawing his own stories. David's book sold a few copies to his students' parents. But that's not the point. It's the spark in his eyes, the way our family feels closer. Looking back, I'm glad I trusted my gut enough to check. Not out of suspicion, but curiosity. It turned a secret into something shared. If your partner asks for space, it might not be what you fear. Sometimes, it's just them growing and inviting you along for the ride. If you've ever discovered a loved one's hidden passion, or turned a worry into a win, share in the comments. What's your wholesome twist story? I read them all. Thanks for listening. If this warmed your heart, like, subscribe, and hit notifications for more real-life tales that restore your faith in people. See you next time.